Hi there, welcome to Against All Odds on Tregung TV. We give you 6 games and 3 likely goal scorers every weekend. Welcome as well to our viewers on Superscreen TV. I'm Deji. Titus is right here with me. Titus, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Good to be here, Deji.
Are you sure you're very well?
I am actually very fine.
All right, guys, let's move on straight to our games for this weekend. Start off in England, where Spurs are up against Manchester City. We think that game should produce at least 2 goals. We're not sticking our necks out, outright, but then 2 goals, Titus. Looks like a good call.
Well, absolutely. In the last 6 meetings between Spurs and City, at least 2 goals have been scored in this encounter. And also don't want to leave out the possibility of, City in the last 6 games have scored at least over 1.5 goals. So I think for that matchup, it's going to be 1 goal call if we have lots of goals in it.
Yeah, seems good. Let's move on to Italy, where Juve are up against Sampdoria. Juventus looking to seal up the league title as soon as possible. We think Juventus will win and will have at least 2 goals in that game as well.
For the old lady, Deji, in the last 15 games in the Serie A, they've won 14 of these games, and the last 4 home games for Juve have seen at least 2 goals. And the last 6 meetings, also been at least 2 goals for Juve, the old lady. So you can always go out there for a Juve win and happens to score over 1.5 goals.
All right, Titus, let's move on to Spain. Barcelona up against Valencia. It's a big one for them, of course. We think that game should give us at least 3 goals. They've been scoring and shipping goals for fun lately, Barcelona.
I think 5 of Barcelona's 6 games in all competitions since at least 3 goals. And if you want to also go by their amazing 27 home games, it's always the possibility of getting about 2 goals.
2 goals at home.
At home also. So I think looking forward to a game against Valencia where they can get over 2.5 goals won't be a bad idea for you to stake.
Okay then, Titus, let's move on to Germany, where Bayer Leverkusen are up against Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankfurt, bad travellers recently. We think Leverkusen will avoid defeat, win or draw.
For Frankfurt, they've lost 4 of their away games in the Bundesliga this season, and they've only beaten Leverkusen once in the last 6 meetings. So I think a safe call would be for Leverkusen to get a win or a draw against Frankfurt this weekend.
In France, Titus, the big game is PSG versus Monaco. PSG love first half goals. They've scored first half goals in the last 8 home games. We think at least a goal in the first half in that one.
Definitely should be a game where we have loads of goals being scored there. So if you want to go out there, I want to throw a caution to the wind to have PSG and Monaco banging in goals. Definitely.
At least 1 first half goal.
You'll be on the right track.
And PSG love the first half goals as well. The last 8 matches.
Yes, matches.
At least 1 goal in the first half.
True that.
So that seems a great call as well. And finally, on our games for this weekend, Feyenoord are up against Utrecht. We think straight win for Feyenoord. They should get all 3 points.
Because Feyenoord are on a winning streak. I think about 4 to 6 games on the winning streak in the 4 in Eredivisie, and you can also tell us that this weekend that they are on course for another victory. Yeah. And it's just
they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings as well.
Between both sides, so I think it's a good call.
Yeah, that's a good call. Feyenoord at home. On to our goal scorers, Mohamed Salah, the Liverpool forward, has been scoring for fun, 29 goals, top scorer in the league, second top scorer as well in the Champions League. We think he should bag one for Liverpool against Bournemouth.
Things are hotting up again for the player who's going to pick up the Golden Boot in Europe this season, and Mo Salah has given it a good run. So I think going into the weekend, I'm very sure that Mo Salah can actually do it again.
So up next is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's up against Malaga this time around. Malaga is struggling for form.
For Cristiano Ronaldo is having an outrageous record in the La Liga this season. 15 goals in the last 8 games for the Portuguese. It's just amazing. And again, against Malaga, at least maybe 2 goals from him alone. I'm saying that for the Portuguese. The massive form has been in recent times in La Liga.
All right, and we'll wrap up with Romelu Lukaku of Manchester United. Is up against West Brom, his former club. Of course, he scored 3 in his last 4 club games for Manchester United. So we think he should be good enough to get another at Old Trafford.
It's the Red Devils, brightest spark going forward. And I think Lukaku against West Brom, I think we shouldn't see him holding anything back against his former club.
I think he'll be a bit disappointed he didn't get a goal against Manchester City.
Manchester City, but I think it was quite pivotal to how well they did attacking-wise in the game against City.
Oh, sorry, West Brom, Lukaku should bag one. That's what we think. So yes, those are games, 6 games, 3 likely goal scorers. Remember, nothing is cast in stone, but based on certain statistics and probabilities, we think these games will come through. Call your friends to subscribe to Tregung TV and follow us on all our social media platforms as well at Tregung TV. Have yourself a great weekend.